This was clearly not the plan, to be embarrassed, and I ain't living up to the standard that's apparent. No room for excuses, only improvements. But sit with me a moment before you jump to your conclusions on how we got here. We can start from the top, we can start with the sacks, we can start with the drops, we can start with the shots to a target that's draped. Regardless, let me talk about what's really at stake, and that's legacy. Trying to fill the role of the one that stood ahead of me. Whole city want the one took after me instead of me, and rightfully so, my homie like that. And let them tell it about me, I'ma be right back. Exchange my struggles for a rifle, that's a light pack. And I just smile and show humility despite that. Yeah. They think I'm soft, think I'm weak. My confidence is rooted in belief. They call me the one, I live for the hype. Now they tryna tell me that the choice isn't right. Tell me, did I lose it? Well, did I lose it? I gotta be myself, don't care what they say, cause I'm the only person that can stand in the way. Tell me, did I lose it? Well, did I lose it? Once there was a man on a journey, made some fatal mistakes in a hurry, sent away from all of his worries, like succeeding what many saw was Billy Graham in a jersey, to the abyss, until he reappeared proven worthy. That was me, so I know where you been. What kind of sort of the difference is that you think it, but I knew I was him. Knew I would smack the competition that blend. Knew I would change the Carolinas and the league before the laces would spin. And it wasn't easy. They brought me back after releases if they didn't need me. And then they got you, and respectfully the whole thing just feel like a waste. A press release about a trade they tried to play in my face. 7 years in the desert with no chance of escape. And a fan base that sees it as an utter disgrace. Just be patient with them, they don't deserve it. But it's on you, you gotta earn it. They call me the one, I live for the hype. Now they tryna tell me that the choice isn't right. Tell me, did I lose it? Well, did I lose it? I gotta be myself, don't care what they say, cause I'm the only person that can stand in the way. Tell me, did I lose it? Well, did I lose it? What's up, y'all? What's good? A little bit different aesthetic today because it's a whole different feeling. You know what I'm saying? No hat, so you can see, yes, I'm bald, right? It's different because I'm going to keep it a buck, y'all. It ain't nothing like division rival is division rival. But there is nothing like going into either the Caesar Dome, and look, prayers up to those people, you know what I'm saying, for all that this happened out there, or the Mercedes-Benz Dome and doing it at the crib. It ain't nothing like doing it at the crib. I love that more than anything else. But especially in a city that can produce something like this. Oh my gosh. I don't care about monetization today, baby. We turning up. End of the season and we done what we had to do. Come on, man. Oh, they know. Yeah, they know. Hey. Welcome to the One Carolina Show, y'all. What's up? What's up? I'm outside, baby. The kid got. Let's go. Would've thought I had a. Whoa. Come on, man. Ain't nothing like when you do it in the A. Come on, man. What? Talk to him, Bryce.
All my haters.
Man, I'm going to get demonetized out this thing, man. Stop playing with him. Play spoiler on another person's team. Talk to him, Roscoe. Stop playing with him. Y'all can tell me all the stuff you want to tell me. I don't care no more. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. If you want to disagree, pull up. It's cool. We can disagree. But you can't disagree with the facts. And you can't disagree with what you see. Hey, look, we're a 5-12 team. I get it. I know. He got benched early in the season. I get it. I know. But where y'all at? I ain't inviting no negativity. But all I'm asking is a simple question. Where y'all at? It's a lot to explain away. It's a whole lot to explain away. It's going to be hard it's going to be a long offseason. I'll just tell you that. A long offseason. Why, John? Why it's going to be so long, John? Huh? First QB in Panthers history to throw 3 touchdowns and rush. Wait. What? Rush for 2 touchdowns in a single game. Passing and rushing. It's going to be a long season. They benched me. I came back with a vengeance. They told me I didn't have it. I've been showing them since last year. Despite the record. Oh, I'm just getting started. Blunt Sports said it. Trust the tape. It told you all you need to know. Was it going to take time? Yes. Good things do take time. But now you're seeing it. And now they trust them. Look, I don't care about draft position. Go argue somewhere else. I don't care if we drop to 15. I do not care about draft position. Talk to somebody else. I believe in momentum. Why do I believe in momentum? Because I'm old enough to remember a team that went 7-8-1 going 15-1 the next year. You get retooled on the defense, you add more to your offense, and then things start to change. I don't care about your draft position. At me, slander me. Do everything you want to do. I do not care. Roscoe Dash said, I'm turning up for Bryce. Me too, bro. Sideshow, what's good? Real ball players know. They know, bro. They know. They know. It ain't hard to tell. I seen this dude hang 426 yards on a team that had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe 6 players go in the first round in that same stadium. And I don't care if it was just 250 yards today. Efficiency. That matters more than anything else, because if you really want to call it what you want to call it. The real difference in the game. And hey, look, salute to Michael Penix. Michael Penix going to be the truth, bro. Like, he the real deal, right? But that one pick was the difference. 3 tuds through the air, 2 on the ground. Super efficient. 25 of 34. Hung 44 points up on them boys. This is a team that was vying for a playoff spot. I got questions. Y'all paid a quarterback that went 14-2 on another team once upon a time. And he came in and y'all benched him for the rook. Hey, salute to Atlanta. And I ain't saying it would look any different with Kurt. I don't know. But salute to them anyway. Because it's up. Trust me. They know. New Orleans knows. They all know. My man out there, Steph Currying to Coker in overtime. My man out there rushing like crazy for touchdowns. My man throwing 3 through the air. They told me he was too small. One batted pass going into this game. They told me bro was too small. Elliott, they told me he was too small, bro. Confidence through the roof. Leon Murray said, yo, Bryce Young a dog. Big dog. They told me this man was too little. You name it. They said it about him. Why he ain't throw at the combine? Why he had to wait till the pro day? I told somebody this the other day. Hey, look, I got an interview. If he's here right now, Pat Coltrane, salute to you. I cannot wait for us to drop this interview. I can't wait for us to link again. Shoot, if you want to tap in, man, I'm going to drop the link in the chat in about 2 more minutes. Tap in. But the point is this. I told Pat, I said, man, I watched Frank Reich. I think I said this on a live, man. I watched Frank Reich at CJ Stroud's pro day. And look, salute to CJ. This ain't no CJ. Look, CJ solid. He legit, right? But I watched Frank Reich giddy at his pro day. Why? Because in his mind, even though he is not Andrew Luck, right? Had a better rookie season than anybody else. But even though he is not Andrew Luck, it's the closest thing that I've had to that. I only had him for 1 season. And I saw look, statistically, he had his best season with me. So I'm at the pro day. Man, look, I got my phone out. I'm filming. I'm excited, man, beyond excitement. Tep coming to me, hey, bro. Nah, we drafting Bryce. Dang. Really? Yeah. All right. We'll try to make it work. I get fired halfway through the season. Another offensive coordinator. We switching hands. Here you go, Thomas. Nah, here you go, Frank. All right, I'm fired. Here you go, Thomas. Whole time Bryce, they're like, okay, what'd you say, Jim Caldwell? Okay, do this. Frank, what you said? You want me to do? Okay, I got you. Wait, huh? Okay, you want me to? Oh, so I need to line up. Oh, okay, I got it. Cool. 2-14 season. Still saw flashes. Still saw him throw against 0 blitz, Miami, to Adam Thielen, get blasted, deliver. Saw that from that play a couple of times last week, Tommy Tremble, or in the Arizona game, Tommy Tremble rather. A lot of this stuff we saw last year, it's new to some if you ain't want to see it. If you didn't want to see it, yeah, it's new to you. But it was there. It's been there. Did you want to see it? And look, all this bravado chest beating for a team that's 5-12, I get it, man. If you want to clown me, have a blast. But you're going to have to clown a whole lot of us. Because it's a whole lot more that just saw what they saw in that city in Atlanta that was probably wearing them jerseys, that probably saw him do this against their home state team and was like, whoa, that's the boy that we saw a few years ago. Whew. And we got to play him twice a year now? Man, hey, look, the best hope you got, man, I hope Dan don't figure it out. I hope XL don't develop, man. That Coker boy, man, you see the hands? You see that anticipation throw in between 2 defenders, the hand catch? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you see that? Hey, all I can tell you, you better hope they don't develop. Because if they do, it's about to be a problem. Salute to y'all in the chat, man. 110 people watching me right now between YouTube and the X. I appreciate y'all, man. My name is John. If this is your first time here from the One Carolina Show, if this is your first and last time here, salute to you and bye. But I'm telling you. And look, sideshow, check it out. Actually, let me read a couple comments real quick. Panthers for Life said, what will the haters say today? Guess we'll say the only reason we won is because the water boy and not Bryce. Hey, look, let them find a reason. I ain't even calling them haters. They just undiscovered fans. Clip it. Tweet it. They just undiscovered fans. That's it. Hey, listen. Let's just keep it a buck for a minute. 7 years of mediocrity. The last time we tasted anything close to this going into the end of the season or seeing teams that we could potentially beat to be in the postseason or teams that are going into the postseason or should have went into the postseason. Shout out to ATL. Was about 2 years ago. And then we let all that walk away. Now, that's not to take away from a fact that we got to talk about. Hey, look, Ejiro Evero, I love you, brother. I do. I appreciate your contributions to the Carolina faithful. But just like me with the bald head, you out of here. Sorry. I hope that he lands somewhere where it works out better for him. But you cannot give up the most points in the history of the NFL and be retained. Injuries or not. Argue with me if you want to. Cool. That's just my take. I think he's going to be good somewhere else. But I got a take about this that I'm going to save because, like I said, tomorrow, episode 3 of the One Carolina podcast featuring my homie Pat Coltrane about culture, what we have been. I've talked about this before on the live, but I know it's a whole lot of new people in here right now. The kind of culture we have been before and what we're displaying now. Two totally different things. Look, when you have a benchmark that's set and you got a core, like we have a core set beliefs, right? A set of core beliefs, I should say, right? Every company has them, right? And if they don't have them, they don't last long. But once they get those core beliefs, the only thing you got to do is plug and play. That's it. Plug and play. Don't change the core beliefs. What got you successful before? I don't want to dive too deep. You know what? Let's go ahead and do it. I'm sorry, Pat. I'm talking. What is your core beliefs? We have been a 4-3 defense. When we went to the Super Bowl in 2003, we were a 4-3 defense. When we went to the Super Bowl in 2015, we were a 4-3 defense. Do not change your core beliefs. When you try to change to a 3-4, look, Pittsburgh was a 4-3 defense. They changed to a 3-4, had a whole lot of growing pains, but eventually they figured it out. They've been doing a 3-4 since 1982. But during the Chuck Noll years, it was 4-3. Set of core beliefs. Right? There's no reason. Like, think about this. I talked about this before. Luke Kuechly on the roster. Thomas Davis on the roster. David Mayo on the roster. A.J. Klein on the roster. When you've got your core beliefs set, the only thing you got to do is plug and play. It's what Amazon does. It's what eBay does. It's what Walmart does. The core beliefs never change. They improve, but the core foundation never changes. It's how they got where they got to because of consistency. Right? So why try to change that? Now you got a grand opportunity. You just showed any and every defensive coordinator that would potentially come here to want to coach this team, hey, the other side of the ball, we got it figured out. Brad Isaac just grew. You know what I'm saying? Brad Isaac growing. Dave Canales growing. It's a whole lot of them. Bryce Young growing. We see it. Jalen Coker going to get better. Rookie. Xavier Legette going to figure this thing out. Jugs machine, hands catching, whatever. I like the swing pass that they had for him today. Get him out in space. A whole lot of athleticism. They'll figure this out. They'll plug some more places, some pieces in. Adam Thielen, tell me what you want to tell me. You can say, man, look, retain him. If you got chemistry with somebody that you can rely on like that, why let him walk? I don't care how old he is. Maybe he got that LeBron gene or something, right? But you cannot let a guy like that walk. You have to retain him in order for the chemistry to continue. But you see it. I got a framework now, offensively. Hey, man, if you come in and just make tweaks on the defense, the crazy thing is that with a different philosophy, and I do think they got to figure this out fast, right? Why? Because I need to know who on the team can fit what I'm trying to do so that when we go out in free agency in the draft, we already got this sold up. And I trust them to do it, right? So I've shown you already that we can compete despite giving up 38 points. And what? Let me look at the screen here. My goodness. How many yards of total offense did we give up? 537 yards. We still pull it off in overtime. And somehow or another, That little joker that they keep telling me can't play no ball just done it. So for the rest of y'all trying to run away from these takes,
Nah, not this time.
not this time.
Nah, not this time.
Oh, you following through? Not this time. Explain it away. Give me all your other stats and all that other kind of stuff you want to give me. Explain it away. You're going to have to. All these stats that keep coming about, you know, top 10, what was it, top 11 quarterback, all that kind of stuff, the PFF stuff. You can reference whatever you want, or you can use the eye test. You can use that too. And I know the argument would be like, oh, man, it was only 250 yards. He had to do that in overtime. Look, efficiency. He ain't got no Drake London over here. He ain't got no Bijan over here. Yeah, Miles Sanders. You see that touchdown of Miles Sanders earlier? I'm trying to hear from y'all.
Nah, not this time.
Nah, we ain't doing it this time. I want to hear from y'all. I don't know if this is really if this is really Bryce people, salute to you. She said, y'all was talking mad about my nephew. Now what? Hey, tell him.
Nah, not this time.
Yeah, you following through. Not this time. Jay Grizzly said, no turnovers. I don't think we had more than 3 penalties. Listen. Just 3. Now what do y'all have to say about my blood nephew, Bryce Young? Hey, Tammy, if this is real, I promise you when I drop the link in the chat, tap in. I want to hear from you. I do. Because it ain't nothing to say now. I understand it's still 5-12. We got to keep things in perspective. But you don't see what you just saw often. You don't. This kind of turnaround, like, think about this. Steve Young said something earlier, right? Steve Young talked about Bryce's turnaround and how he can see him starting to develop. Now, I want you to think about the perspective of somebody like Steve Young, because it didn't even happen for him the same way, right? Steve Young started off with Tampa. They were horrible. Had to go to the USFL. Came back to the NFL and sat on the bench for years behind Montana till he finally got his shot. If there's anybody qualified enough to be able to tell you that what he sees, it's him, because he walked the walk. He went through it. He was an undersized quarterback. He went through it. Not as undersized as the guy that he was replacing in Montana, because he was smaller. Taller, but smaller, right? But he went through it. But Bill Walsh saw something in him that was like, hey, look, if we surround this guy with some weapons, man, he might be a problem. How come Tampa didn't see it? Oddly enough, tell me the last time that Tampa drafted a quarterback that was a franchise quarterback. They brought in one. Jameis was not. They tried. Josh Freeman was not. Right? So the point is that, look, it might not have worked out in the beginning. It was tough goings. I talked about this on the last podcast with Dunk. I ain't throwing no names out there of who was to blame, because obviously Bryce has to take responsibility for his play. But I will tell you this. I do think that there's something to be said for organizational dysfunction. And I got to tell you something. More than anything else, man, I may not always agree with the play calling. I may not even always agree with the way that he's talked about in press conferences from Dave Canales. But I'm giving Dave Canales the biggest round of applause. Because Dave Canales could have went back to Andy Dalton, number one. Dave Canales also, even after the car wreck, could have went back, right? But Dave Canales also identified that there was an issue in a specific receiver and said, you know what? Got to get him out of here. Can't do it. This is not going to work. And look, am I saying that that's the core reason for this happening? No. I don't know that. It's only speculation. But I do find something extremely interesting, because I saw a stat, heard a stat just the other day, that of his 2 interceptions that he threw in those games where he was terrible stat line, benched after the games, whatever, that the majority of his targets was going to one person. And lo and behold, bro, I'm going to tell you, I saw, like, last year, like, sometimes expectation can be a very, very harsh reality when you go from one place to another. I remember Adam Thielen saying, like, hey, I think Carolina can compete. I don't know what he was saying to suggest that, but maybe it was coming off of what we had done the season prior. But that was his thing. Hey, I believe they can compete, right? So he comes here and finds out real soon that we cannot. But what did you not see him doing last year? I did not one time in my recollection. If I'm wrong, and look, I'm always open to be wrong. I put myself out there on Front Street. Call me a clown, talk about me everywhere else. I don't care. But if I'm wrong, please, somebody drop a link and show me that you saw Adam Thielen do what he did in the Chargers game last year, this year, on the sideline. Tell me. I might have said that weird. What am I talking about? When Adam Thielen was open and didn't get the ball, and he was on the sideline visibly frustrated, as he should have been, right? But what happened? Things changed. Now, my question is, what was the catalyst that caused that? Disruption. There clearly had to be something going on inside of that room that's like, yo, man, this ain't it, man. Hey, man, I know I went through this last year. Oh, man. And then I turn up on the sideline and get upset. I remember, like I said, I tweeted it out. Losing the locker room. This is how you lose it, right? Who knew what I meant by that? I left it up to interpretation. Some people thought I was talking about Bryce. No. I've been 10 toes. I ain't changed. Right? So, what caused the disruption? I mean, you know it. I've said this before. If you're at work, and I'm sure if you're honest with yourself, you would agree to this. It is so difficult to work with negative people. It becomes a cancer throughout the entire workplace, right? You hope because of their talent, and it could be somebody talented, like this brother is, super talented. But it's just like, man, what in you cannot figure it out? Like, we can do this if we do this as a team. It ain't always going to be about you, bruh. But lo and behold, he is where he is. Hey, look, I hope he goes on to have great success with the Texans, helps lead them to a playoff win or whatever that looks like. I don't know. But I know for us, clearly, there was something there. I appreciate y'all being in the chat with me, man. 176 people watching, only 47 likes. Let's smash that like button. I appreciate y'all. Man, I might be getting cussed out in the chat for all I know, but I'm going to go check it out. Let's do it. All right, so I'll go back through some of these. Joe Clarity said last year Thielen got the ball, and this year he got the ball, albeit he had to share, but he got the ball. Sideshow said Coker's been good. Joe Clarity said, what did he do? I'm not sure what that means. Moon NFT says, got to admit, Bryce last year had no chance to learn. This was a big learning year for Bryce with Canales, and our O-line got some good chemistry going. Next year will be a crucial contender, actual contender team. I'm sorry, I got on glasses, hard to read. Jay Grizzly said they just fired the Patriots head coach. I saw that coming. Sasha said, I really wanted Tet. He won't be there for us now. Well, we'll talk about that in a few. My man JP, Deontay was targeted a lot under Dalton's watch too. Good point. Sean Presley said, pay Devontae Adams, keep Adam Thielen. Nah. I'd rather have somebody young. What's going on, Tyree? What's happening? Appreciate you being here, man. See, Nader Afshar said, we haven't lost a game in let's go. Timmy said, I'm going to cuss them the F out. Just wait, playing diss songs about my nephew. I don't know who you're talking about, but look, salute. Hasib Ashraf, I'm sorry, I got your name wrong, man. My bad. Let's call you Haar. Wasn't Tet around the 7th? Patriots going for him or defense? I'm not sure. We'll talk draft soon. We got, mock draft stuff coming up. But hey, listen, for the here and now, here it is. You want to chat? Mess with me. About to put the link in the chat. If you want to jump in, Holla at me. Link is officially in the chat. In the meantime, let's keep going. Man, I got to tell you, man, Miles Sanders came back in a major way. I love that. I love seeing people get their redemption because so often it's so easy to just pile on people when they're struggling. I can remember whenever Miles Sanders joined the Panthers before we went and drafted Bryce Young, I actually thought to myself, like, man, there might be a chance we draft AR. I really did. Because he got his best work off in the RPO. We talked about this before, right? 1,200 something yards he got, total offense, RPO style, right? And so, well, with Jalen running the RPO, I should say. So it was weird when they brought him here to be kind of the primary back. And then, of course, Chuba took that spot, you know, and salute to Chuba, right? Saw him on the sideline today, encouraging everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like that. I look forward to seeing his growth and maturation over even the next year. Like, I feel like he's going to be even better next year than he was this year because one thing that's developed in his game a lot is his ability to catch out of the backfield. That's huge. I love that. So I love seeing Miles get his redemption. 17 carries, 66 yards, and a tud. Had the one tud through the air. Like, the chemistry. That's 2 years of chemistry. I made an argument early this year that when they made all these changes, man, you cannot make consistent change like that and expect for greatness to happen, right? You can plug things in, yes. But again, core beliefs. Look at what Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase just did. Jamar Chase, triple crown. T. Higgins, meaningful games. Probably going to get a bag. If I'm him, I would probably try to stay put. He'll be a legend up there, right? Known as one of the best offenses in league history if they continue doing what they're doing. But yeah, if I'm him, I'm standing pat. Now, if he doesn't and he wants to come somewhere like here, pause, then yeah, I'd be open to that. But if I'm him, I probably would stay where I am, right? But continuity. Coming out of last season, I'm not saying you don't make changes, but you pull away Chark. Tommy Tremble becomes kind of in flux because you don't know what he's going to be because you just drafted JT Sanders, which, by the way, I think the more he develops coming into next year, I'm interested to see what the offseason plan is for him. That's why what they just done going down the stretch, man, the game against Kansas City, you know, really the 2 wins that started it off, but then the game against Kansas City, the game against the 4th best defense in Philadelphia, right? Then you had a setback with the Dallas game. You beat Arizona, right? But it's just consistent growth. And now going into the offseason, I don't have to worry necessarily about like, hey, let me go. We got to find a true tight end or whatever like that. Like I know Jared Feinberg, salute to him if he's listening. Like he made an argument, and I agree. Like there's a strong argument to be made for drafting a tight end if you value one that high, because I'm all about BPA at this point, right? To answer your questions about Tet, hey, if they see Tet as BPA, go get him, right? Now, obviously, defense needs to be addressed. I would love to see Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, whatever that looks like. And I'm sure, look, there's a lot of guys in this draft, some edges, man. There's a kid out of Marshall, Mike Green, monster. The kid from Tennessee, James Pierce, monster. Kennard, solid. TJ Sanders as a interior lineman, solid. There's some players. I had tweeted something. I said, man, if there was ever a draft, and look, I know what we just said about Avero, but for that specific defense, if there was ever a draft to kind of fill needs there, this probably will be one of those ones. You know, I don't know who the true nose would be in this draft. I personally don't think that Mason Graham's a nose. I don't know well enough, but it'll be interesting to see. But you got Mason Graham. You got, like I said, TJ Sanders, Tonka Hemingway, Deion Walker, freak of nature. You know what I'm saying? From Kentucky. There's some dudes out there that you could plug into this defense and this specific type of defense and potentially start to find your way. But if it's me, whoever's running that 4-3, particularly Robert Saleh, that's who I'm going after. Hey, man, we got some money in the house. Salute. I appreciate it. Let's see what you got. James E. with the super chat says, who are some building blocks on the fourth on defense for next year? I haven't really like completely deep dive that because I feel like, and I appreciate your super chat, James. I feel like the defense primarily can be built. Like you got some young guys here, right? You got like young guys like Damani Richardson, Jaden Crumity. I don't know if some of these guys will make the roster, but you do have a lot of young guys here. And look, I know this was bad, y'all, but just follow me for a minute. Once upon a time, there was a cornerback who in 2015 led the league, I believe, in interceptions as a corner, was one of the most efficient corners, made the Pro Bowl, and there was a time in his career when he was benched. That's Josh Norman, right? So sometimes guys have to develop. You can rely on free agency to help you with that development. I made that argument about Xavier Legette. I think Xavier Legette was thrust into a spot, big pause, because of the Deontay Johnson situation. He may not even have had to, I don't know what his arc would have been. He'd have probably spent time in the slot. They probably would have used him a lot of, bubble screens and, just using his athleticism. But they saw some things that were like, okay, well, maybe he's a little bit more far developed now. And we drafted him so high, so let's justify it. Look, you're the X now, bro. It's on you. Trial by fire. Hey, look, there was some good. There was a whole lot of bad. But the development is there. So going into next season, I don't think they're just going to completely scrap heave this defense. I think that you can draft some pieces to come in to fill some positions of need. But then also you can, work your magic in free agency. And maybe now, seeing the kind of I think free agency is a couple of different things at one time. I think, yes, it's partly money. Obviously, that's a huge thing. But I also think it's what's the team doing? What's the cachet? What's the feeling? You know what I'm saying? How does the team, what's their feel about the team? And are we in a space where things can develop and get better? Are we kind of stuck in a rut or whatever? So now when you put this kind of tape, you're not just putting on tape for what you're going to do next year as far as your Bryce Young is concerned. You're putting on tape for potential people that you're courting for next year to bring into the organization. So this was huge. That's what I'm saying, man. This thing about draft position, man, I'm telling you, man, there is nothing like winning. Y'all, we went 7-8-1. We beat Arizona in a playoff game. We got smoked by Seattle. But that momentum carried us into 2015 to give us the best season we've had in our franchise's history. I'm big on momentum. Big on momentum. Look, shout out to my moderator, Elliot. He is here with me, y'all. Elliot, what's up, man? How you feeling?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. What up, everybody? Keep pounding.
Yes, sir. How you feeling, brother?
I feel great. Phenomenal. I haven't felt better, man. It's been a long time coming.
It has.
I'm excited. I don't know why anybody can find any negativity right now after all we've seen the last few years. I'm on top of the world, man. This is all I needed to end the season.
Yeah, they'll find it. Elliot, man. So, all right. So I know that you, like many other Panther fans, have felt the weight of a 7-year stretch of no playoff wins. And I get it. We're 5-12. And I'm sure the detractors will be like, yo, 5-12. And they will find a reason to be like, yo, this kid still doesn't have it. And that's okay. It's okay to have that kind of debate. But tell me, what do you see in this game that we could carry into next season? And how do you feel that the Panthers could do moving forward?
Well, number one, I saw a coach that knew what he was doing on the offensive side. Everything they told us about Dave was that he can make something out of nothing, that he can take quarterbacks at this who have the projection to be who they have the potential to be, and have the size that Bryce is at, that he can make something from that. And this game was kind of like the synopsis of that. I saw a quarterback and coach that were on the same page. This is the Mahomes style, the accuracy, the make something out of nothing that Bryce.
Don't do that, Elliot. They're gonna kill you, bro. Don't throw that name out there, Elliot. Hey, look, Charles Davis said it on the broadcast. Go ahead.
Exactly. But he gave us a glimpse of that. I'll be honest, we've seen snippets of it, but this was I'ma put it on my back type. He did it. That joint to Coker was yo, if Coker got to the end zone, that's play of the week. That's all over Twitter. That was a phenomenal play. So for me, I saw number one, I saw a coach that I could believe in. Like this the guy for me.
Yeah.
He
Oh yeah.
solidified it for me. Number two, I saw a quarterback that proved to me he's the guy.
Yeah.
And then number three, I don't want to put it out there like this, but I'm gonna say what's on my mind, and that is we really need to switch to 4-3. I don't like the 3-4 joint, but that's what I learned this season. But it was like number one lesson I saw today, because it was like, to me, I feel like when you have Carolina historically have always dealt with the injury bug. I don't know what has been the issue with our PTs and our health facilitators and doctors and stuff, but we have for years dealt with this issue of injury. I have never seen where we have played this bad, even with so many injuries. And I feel like the two times I saw it was in 3-4.
Yeah.
When we was in 4-3, it is, in my opinion, and I'm not going to be the one to say I'm a football expert. I just love the game. I played a little bit of it, but I just love the game. And that is, it appears that it's easier to plug in role players in a 4-3 than it is in a 3-4.
I would agree.
That's just my opinion.
I would agree. That's a point I've made before. Because the proof is there. Look, Mario Addison is like top 5 in the history of the Carolina Panthers in sacks. He was undrafted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
the proof is there. Man, look, when we moved to the 3-4, man, I can remember, I think it was Dontari Poe we had as our nose tackle, right? And I'm convinced to this day, man, Luke Kuechly getting ready to skywalk into the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
like this year, first ballot, like straight like that. But I'm convinced that part of the reason he retired is because he like, look, man, now I become an off-ball linebacker in a 3-4, and I'm out here getting just absolutely blitzed and beat up by guards and centers when usually I'm operating in space so I can go out and tackle, running backs and stuff like that. Like, it's harder to get to the second level when you have adequate play. And look, don't get me wrong. The 3-4 defense, when it's done right, like if you scout it right, it's excellent. Man, people like Nick Saban have won multiple national championships. Listen, Jason Taylor, right, went on to have a Hall of Fame career because Nick Saban convinced him to move to outside linebacker in a 3-4, right? So the defense works. It's proven. It's just not our pedigree. And when you have a core principle, stick with it. And, just continue to keep plugging in. I made this point to my homie Pat Coltrane. I was like, man, when you think about some of the players that we've had on this defense, like a guy like Mario Addison can come in and be, like, cultured into a great player by Charles Johnson, Greg Hardy, Julius Peppers. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside linebacker in a 3-4, like, Ellie, I don't know if you know this, bro. They don't grow on trees, dog.
No.
They really don't. Because you got to have pass rush responsibility and you got to be able to drop back into coverage.
Correct.
That's not easy to do.
I think it leaves too much of a hole when it comes to 3-4. Just me. Like I said, I'm not a fan of 3-4. So I may not, I'm not an expert, so I'm just straight opinionated. But I feel like, especially when it comes to what we saw this year, you need specialized individuals to play that. Like your point with Luke, like really in the 3-4, the middle linebackers become the defensive tackles. Yeah. And I don't know too many middle linebackers that like that put on their plate. No. So, I mean, for me, it's like, it doesn't make sense because you have to find so many people that specialized, where 4-3, in my opinion, is easier to find players that's just hungry. Like, if hunger, you could do crazy stuff in 4-3. Hunger, you can't just be hungry in 3-4, in my opinion. Like, you have to understand your role in 3-4 very succinctly. And we saw this year, just even many times we saw with the miscommunication of the defense, like 4-3, some of those things in 4-3 covers those miscommunications. In 3-4, you have to be on top of 3-4 because it's so easier to get to the second layer of the defense so quickly. And where 4-3, you can get away with some of those mistakes. So I really would like to see us switch back to 4-3 the same way I felt a few years ago when we did that mess. I really want us to get back to having a hard-nosed front seven. Get your two defensive tackles, and let's plug up that middle, and then let's get somebody off the edge that can fly, man, and let's make some noise, man. We have always been historically a dangerous front seven, and this is the first time in a long time I've seen we have. I mean, like I was telling my pops, who's also a Carolina fan, I was like, man, we don't even know the names of these guys, man. Like this has been a rough year,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm disappointed that we allowed Atlanta to put up that much. But at the same time, I'm like, man, like you said a couple of lives ago, like we got to give EE his due though. Like this is a hard task to try to take these guys that they got on the squad and play defense. Like the fact that we have won games even before today, the fact that we have won games, like he gets some props. Like I'm not gonna just mess up my dude, get all over him and not give him his props. I give him some props, but I don't like the 3-4, man. I don't like it.
I don't either, man. And look, you're right. All your points were excellent. What can't get lost in this is the fact that, like you said, in the 3-4 defense, 2-gap responsibility is a big deal. And it takes guys that are extremely talented and also aware, not just talented, not just physically talented, but extremely aware. Like Shy Tuttle, I believe just his time is just over. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he has a resurgence, if they make the defensive switch. But I just believe it, it's just kind of past him a bit. And then, you lose the production. Like, here's the one thing I will say in Avero's favor, right? And this, like I said, we can't just look past this. Because, man, I'm going to tell you, bro, I ain't trying to do this, Elliot, but I'm going to do it. I ain't one of the people that like to, I hate coming out here and doing this to black coaches, bro. I really do.
True.
I really do, bro.
No, I'm with you
I don't
on
really
that.
do the race stuff, but like I'm just keeping it a buck. But here's the thing, man. You cannot lose Derek Brown. You can't lose Shaq. You know what I'm saying? You can't lose Frankie Louvu. And look, I know Brian Burns didn't put up like double-digit sacks, but that's still production you didn't replace.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? His pressures, his sacks, you didn't replace that, right?
Correct.
And so you're basically like, man, ain't that? I mean, Elliot, let's just keep it real, man. Ain't that the black man story? Here you go, man. Go make it work. Go make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Always. Nah,
Here go a hammer, a basketball. Go.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's
Go
do this
build me up the
skyscraper.
Eiffel. Yeah, go build the Eiffel. You know what I'm saying? So like, look, I get it when people be in my comments like, yo, man, you can't just be blaming. I'm like, look, I understand that.
Yeah,
but again,
yeah.
it's not our philosophy. We didn't go to 2 Super Bowls with this defense, man. We got to get back to who we are.
Correct.
Sam Mills Sam Mills mad. You know what I'm saying? Salute to his family. But I'm telling you, he tight. Man, what are y'all doing? What?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This is not who we are.
Man, the best middle linebacker, in my opinion, outside of Ray Lewis ever, right? Or I could say 1 and 1A, and if I'm just keeping it a buck.
True.
But the best middle linebacker shouldn't have been an apprentice for the next one you drafted. You know what I'm saying?
Oof. Yeah.
Should have been an apprentice. The best tackle you had, or Kawan, the 2 best tackles, Kawan Short and Star Latulele, they should have been, mentoring Derek Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you just completely blow up this philosophy. But anyway, man, we're gonna be happy today. We're gonna bask in the glory that we put.
A good day.
Yeah, man, we put Atlanta out their misery, bro.
Dude, and that's dude, you said it already. I am not gonna just go back, but I am gonna at least get something off my chest. Dude, we did it in their house with playoffs in their face, man. Even though it didn't matter what happened at the end. We did it in ATL, bro.
Did it in their crib, bro.
It's sweet.
I love it.
Sweet.
I love it. I got homeboys that's fans. They hate it.
Yep,
I love it.
Here.
Love it.
This
All right,
was awesome, bro.
So when you think about going into next season, we're not gonna make any early predictions because we don't know what the roster gonna look like. But I made an argument because I know some people are upset about winning because of draft position. And I know that because there's some guys out there, man. There's some names that are floating around at the top. There's the Abdul Carter that we keep getting mocked to draft, or Teteroy McMillan, or Mason Graham, or whatever like that, which I think inevitably one of the 3 of those guys going to be right there when we draft, right? Because it always happens that way. But I believe in momentum. What is your opinion of that? Because like I said, we finished 7-8-1 once. We finished let's go to more recent. The last time we made the playoffs, we came off of a Super Bowl year and we went 6-10. We got hot a little bit late, right?
Yep.
And then we come in the next season. North Turner hired as the offensive coordinator, and we go 11-5. I'm big on momentum. What say you?
Oh, I'm the same. I probably use a different word, and that is just I think we put a good spreadsheet out for the rest of the NFL. And what I mean by that is that when you do what you do today, I'm sitting at home trying to figure out what's the next step for me as a player. And I'm like, something's brewing over there. Like something's happening.
Yes,
like,
sir.
That's exciting. Young coach, franchise QB. Yes, franchise QB.
Say that
You
again,
got
man. Franchise QB.
QB.
Let's go. Haters, get up out of here. Let's go.
You got Hubbard, just got paid, 1,000-yard back. And I'm like, man, there's something happening over in Carolina, especially if Tepper, who has shown this last few months that he's stepping back a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we on to something. Dan Morgan, people were going in on that. I was one of them. I ain't gonna hide. I was one of them. Like, man, you're a part of the tree. I don't know where this is going, but I get to him, man. Good draft, good job. I think that this was a great opportunity for other players to see, there's something happening. I think they're doing it the right way. So I'm definitely on board with the momentum because forget the draft picks from a standpoint of losing this game. We need good draft picks. But I think that they proved to me last offseason that they know how to draft. I think Dan understands talent as a former player. I think Dave did a good job even as a rookie understanding how when I come in, when I don't come in. Like he stated many interviews early on last offseason, like I'm here to coach. Like Dan gets me the players. He understands my philosophy. I understand his philosophy. I'm going to coach. So I love that rather than what we've had with Matt Rule and with Frank, where it seemed like it was just a lot of either on one side, I'm in charge and I'm doing everything. On the other side, we have no idea what we're doing. Everybody's trying to buy in to get their 2 cents in, and it just ended up blowing up in our faces. So I love what I saw today from a standpoint of I think this is going to attract some talent from other teams.
I do too.
Like you saw last offseason, because of what happened, we lose somebody like Frankie. It wasn't like Carolina wasn't trying to sign him. They put money in front of him.
They did. That's right. I'm glad you clarified that. Yes.
Yeah. I'm in a better position with Dan Quinn. So I think people think differently this offseason. Number two, I think that you need this win in the manner that it happened, which I'm so grateful for culture.
Yes.
Because what happens today, number one,
Preach, Elliot.
A lot of men
Preach.
learn.
Preach. Let's go.
I think a lot of men in that locker room said, that's my quarterback.
Yes.
That is my quarterback.
Absolutely. Man, Elliot.
So from a culture standpoint.
Let's go.
We need this. And you do it against the division rival.
Yeah.
So it's like, you tell the rest of the division, oh, they coming.
Yeah.
They coming.
Yeah. Yeah. And the crazy thing is,
that's what I believe in.
It's not just because it wasn't just this year. It was last year too. To them specifically, to Atlanta.
Correct.
So they know. See, let me tell you what I love about growth like this is that when you figure out the most important position, right, and then you can just build around that position, growth like this makes other teams make crazy moves. Like, so I saw something because we've been a victim of this as of late, right? Because David Tepper has made a lot of, you know what, this ain't working, let's change. You know what, this ain't working, let's change. But Elliot, I showed a picture. I don't have it here with me right now, but it was the picture of David Tepper in Germany. And it was him, John Beeson, Steve, all those guys, right? And he had on the Keep Pounding hat. And I loved that because I was like, you know what? He gets it. Yeah. He finally gets it. Because I'm old enough to remember him trying to change the culture.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I'm old enough to remember them covering up Jerry Richardson's picture at Wofford with the tarp. Right? Or all these other things that you would hear coming out of there about, how he just trying to come in with his philosophy from the, Goldman Sachs world and from Pittsburgh and all this other kind of stuff, right? But I feel like now you got all these people around you. You got Pep around you. He's a Hall of Famer. You got Steve getting ready to go into the Hall of Fame at some point. Luke getting ready to walk in. And all these dudes, you're insulated now. And then you put on that hat. Like when he turned up last year and threw that drink on somebody, they said it was because somebody was picking on Marquise Haynes. You know what I'm saying? So he like, hey, man, hold up. Yeah, I'm like, so Tepper real one then. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, look, when you see all of that happening, that just tells me, I finally get it. I'm not firing my coach off season. Yes, if y'all want to fire Vero, that's y'all's choice. It ain't going to be because of me, right? Because I was the one that held him here. That's another thing we don't need to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's possible that he might have been up out of here, right? Coming off of a top 5 defense, but we was like, nah, we want him back. You know what I'm saying? And like now it's just like, I see it working. I let y'all make the decisions. I even believe this. I don't believe that Tep was the reason that Bryce one was benched, and I also don't believe that Tep went back and said, "Hey, you have to play him." I really think it was just a matter of just circumstance. Like when that Andy Dalton thing happened, man, we ain't looked back since. So to the Tepper point that I just made, what do you say?
I definitely agree with 90% of it for sure. The part that I would just add, so I wouldn't even say disagree with 10%. Just I would, in addition, say that let's say it is true that Tepper has not, dealt with anything. He did not have anything to say with Young benching Young, getting the starting position again. What I do appreciate, and especially what you're saying, is that from the beginning, I think because of what we had dealt with in the manner that we dealt with, is that we didn't understand the fact that it takes time to really learn what it means to be an NFL owner.
Yeah, that's
For
fair.
Tepper to come in, and I'll be honest, if I look at myself, if I'm coming into a new organization, I'm not from that space. I'm moving my family across the country. I'm thinking about from the standpoint, especially if I'm very successful in a different industry, I need to make it my brand. I'm not here to uplift somebody else's brand. So that mindset makes sense to me as a business thought leader, that I'm coming in, this isn't working in my mind. Here's my brand. Here's what I bring to the table. This is where I come from. I come from a place of prestige. We got Super Bowl rings left and right. I mean, the terrible towels. Oh, can you imagine what I could do if I have this in my stadium? So you come in and say, let me build this brand. So he comes in, he's like, all right, let's change that. Let's change this. Keep pounding. What is that? Tear it up, And I think what he learned in these last few years is, number one, you can't buy your way to Super Bowl.
No, man,
you can't buy your way to
preach right
legacy. There, boy. Yeah, man, you can't buy your way to a Super Bowl. You can't buy your way to legacy, and you have to listen. If there's any key lesson for any leader, like listen. And I think what you're saying is what he is doing right now is that he's surrounded himself with legends from Carolina. He's gotten to know the fans better, and he need sometimes mistakes have to happen so that you can learn. So when you start off, remember David Tepper can come to Carolina and just put his hands on everything. It was Matt Rule is my guy. Don't want him to get on that flight to New York because he's gone. And what did he do? He took his new team and he said, "It's yours, Matt. Do what you do." Matt Rule didn't know what he was doing, screwed it all up. What is the natural reaction? The natural reaction is, oh, I need to be in control then. They don't know what they're doing. And you messing up me. I just got here. You're not about to do this to me.
Exactly.
So he went and he said, okay, I messed up by getting this new coach who don't know nothing about the NFL. Let me get somebody who does know the NFL. I want Ben Johnson. Can't get Ben Johnson. Okay, now you're at a space where you're like, analytics say I need an offensive coordinator to become my coach. I need an offensive mind. Let me find the best thing I can find with the pool that I have. You find Frank, because if we all are honest, out of that list that was left over, Frank was the best. Man.
Yeah.
So let's be honest.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, no, that's real. That was it.
So he gets Frank, and what happens? He don't trust Frank. Frank wasn't his first choice. So he brings in all these different all-star players. This is like, oh man, we're going to be awesome because we got all this great thought. But just because you bring people together who kill it in isolation doesn't mean they're going to do great in collaboration.
That's right.
So you have to figure out, he had to learn the next lesson, which is I can't completely be in control and I cannot manipulate the process.
Yes.
That is, hey man, Deuce, tell me what's happening down there. Hey man, Frank, what's happening? Thomas, what you hearing? Hey, Jim, what you hearing? No.
That's real.
You cannot build culture when everyone's saying different things and they're going behind your back. And we all read that mess.
That's a fact.
But now with Dave, man, this season, it appears to me that this man has said, okay, I've done it wrong twice. I have to be patient.
Yeah.
I cannot do this the fast track. I mean, even y'all saw last week, man, we had freaking Ron and Tepper talking. Like, that was huge to me. I don't know if anybody peeped that. That was huge
Yeah,
to
so
me.
he was there calling the game. He works for
Yes.
the radio network. So I can't remember whatever they're not the Carolina Panthers, but he works
Yes,
for like
yes.
oh, gosh, I hear it all the time. But anyway, he works for the radio. But go ahead.
Yeah. But to me, that was huge to see them on that field discussing, talking, all that stuff. Because once again, the Dave that they tell me that this guy is doesn't have to take a time a day to look at this man, Ron.
No,
I fired you. Hey, good to see you. No, this man is having conversations. To me, that's growth from what
I
I've
agree.
seen over the last few years.
Man,
You
I
having
couldn't
a
agree more.
conversation with the man. This the
couldn't
guy
agree
you
more.
fired. That was big to me. So to me, at the end of the day, man, to kind of wrap this up, I love the listening stage that it appears from the outside looking in that I'm seeing from Dave Tepper, because it looks like he's really embracing Charlotte. He's really embracing the Carolinas, because even before that, we was talking about putting a knife in between South Carolina and North Carolina, the way he was doing things.
Right.
So
it was a mutiny.
It appears to be, it appears to me he's really opening himself to kind of learn and say, all right, let the football people do the football thing and let me do my genius, which is, like you said, let me bring the legends together. Let me have people, excited to shake hands with Steve Smith, excited to shake hands with Captain Muddleton, excited to shake hands with, all the different players that have come through our thread, man.
Yeah.
I love what I'm seeing. So from that standpoint, I have excitement for the culture that I feel like is being built for this next season.
Man, listen, this is my moderator, y'all, Elliot Brooks. My boy came through with it. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you another thing that happens when, to build on everything you said, because that was all excellent. I have nothing more to say to that other than confirmation, right? What else happens is this too, is like, when your kids get older and you tell them all the pitfalls that they might face and you try to show them why patience is a virtue, right? They finally get older and they see it for themselves. They kids start to become, rambunctious, or, what the Bible say, Elliot, the heart is above all things wicked. You know what I'm saying? Train your child in the way they should go. It's actually a warning and not a, because it's derived from a Hebrew idiom, the way of his mouth, right? So that you start to realize, like, man, Pops, man, I know I thought you was hard on me, man. I didn't realize it was like this, right? So the whole time I'm hearing all these stories about David Tepper being the one leading the charge, or one of the people leading the charge about firing Tomlin, until you get over here to your own space and you see how difficult it is to replace a coach. And then you know what? You got perspective now. And now you call the Roonies and be like, man, listen, look, I know that Mike Tomlin has struggled and yesterday was bad and all this other kind of stuff, but you know what? Y'all got 10 wins going into the playoffs. I get it now. I finally get it. Like, I appreciate y'all for the mentorship and everything, because I understand. I see how hard it is.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. No, that's facts, man. And the other thing that I observed real quick is I think there's something that needs to be said about talent linked to scheme. And what I mean by that is, it's interesting to me that we look at players in this day, and I think Tom Brady talked about this too, but you look at these players, especially quarterbacks, specifically Bryce Young, who is put in a situation that he's put in last year and looked absolutely putrid.
Yeah.
And then starts this year out and looks absolutely putrid. And then comes back and looks, he got us like, where has this guy been? Like what is, to me, that fit, that scheme, confidence, like I said, like that confidence is, I have a new appreciation for confidence after watching this whole process with Bryce. But to me, I think there's a lot said about coaching scheme, coaching strategy, and talent that I wondered, basically what I'm trying to say is very interesting that you can have people that's extremely talented, and if put in the wrong situation, their whole career is over. And I wonder how many people have we seen come through Carolina in the past 2-3 years that were really it's, but because our system wasn't prepared to develop those, we're seeing what we have seen the last few years.
Yeah.
Because this Bryce thing, man, I'm telling you, man, this isn't he's really coming along. No, this is somebody who should be bagging groceries at Harris Teeter to now this guy, man. He, in my opinion, these last few weeks, he looked like somebody who's top 5 quarterback.
Talk about it, man. Talk about it.
That need to be studied.
Bryce Young is the first QB in Panthers history to throw for 3 touchdowns and rush for 2 touchdowns in a single game. Do you know how crazy that is, Elliot? Can I just interest you in the fact that we had a 6'6" superhuman playing quarterback at one time? A cyborg. And oddly enough, the 5'10" Joker that's 195 pounds wet,
too small,
who only has 1 batted pass, did that. And I'm talking about you talking about quarterbacks who have won MVPs, have been to Super Bowls. Look,
and they said that he didn't have NFL speed.
Bro, call me a optimist. You can call me Optimus Prime. I'm cool with that. My thing is like, how do you look at this and not like, look, I mean, I guess you can. I mean, you can look at this and take away with it what you want. Like I can make a stat tell me whatever I want it to tell me, right?
True.
And I know a win is, look, the win is the win, right? But I just don't see how on a team that has faced this much, like, just absolute disgust from an organizational perspective, how can you look at this and not be like, man, we got something?
Yeah.
I don't see how, man, unless you just, look, I get it. COE, content over everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're looking at it and you just want to make, just for content's sake, like, cool. My question is going to be, and this is a real question, and I ain't trying to poke no bears or, whatever you want to call that, but I'm just keeping it a buck. If the boy do turn it around, what you going to make content about? Like, what you going to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is your narrative going to shift?
Mm-hmm.
It can stay the same because there's a space for that. There's always going to be a space because there's always going to be people that have a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm open to that. I'm open to when something goes wrong, people hit me and be like, yo, you sound crazy, bro. But you know what don't sound crazy? 3 touchdowns and rush for 2 touchdowns in a single game. 100+ passer rating don't sound crazy. The guy they drafted last year, my stats look almost similar, and he done played 17 or getting ready to play 17 games. I think they playing right now, or either played earlier today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the one that they said that they should have drafted over me. Right?
Oof. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna say. I'm with you. I don't know what they're gonna say, but if you would have told me that he's gonna put up 5 touchdowns in one game earlier this season, I would have been broke.
I mean, it really ain't nothing to say, bro. Like, it's just, look, man, just greatness, man. Greatness. That's all we ever wanted, man. When you, like, look, here's where I will fare with people that are detractors. You are only beholden to greatness. Like, you're not beholden to anything else. Like, fan is short for fanatic. But I have a saying, be a fan. Don't be a fanatic. You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't tell me how to fan. Like, I'm a fan how I fan. Like, I'm a fan out. People get mad at me, Elliot, for selling hope. They say I'm a hope dealer, right? I'm like, yo, you're blaming the wrong guy. The
Correct.
NFL, there's no other league that exists that sells hope like the NFL. At the end of each season, if you're the worst team, you got an opportunity to draft somebody that could change your fortunes forever.
Correct.
Or you could just be at the top drafting people over and over and over and over again. I'm not the one selling the hope. They sell the hope because once the season's over, it's a new day. I can take players from a team that just won hardware and bring them here. And then next thing you know, we up there. So don't blame, you're blaming the wrong guy. You know what I'm saying? Am I crazy, Elliot?
You're not crazy, man. This we've seen it. And the crazy thing, that's what's crazy. The crazy thing is they think you're crazy, but we've seen it already. We've seen a team that was nothing go to the Super Bowl. We have literally watched it from in the early 2000s to 2015. We've seen a player like Julius Peppers transform our whole organization. We've seen a player like Steve Smith transform the whole organization. Cameron Newton transforming an entire 2 states. So you can't be crazy when you see it, when you've seen it, man.
You can't. I watched the St. Louis Rams go from 4-12 to the greatest show on turf.
That's true.
I watched the New England Patriots go to a Super Bowl against Brett Favre, get beat, fall off a cliff, and in a 6th-round pick beat us, beat the Eagles, and beat the Rams. You know what I'm saying? A 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember the Cardiac Cats.
Yes.
That Jake Delhomme and company went to the Super Bowl with. I'm old enough to remember, and here's the most important thing for those who are of the Cam Newton persuasion, and salute to Cam. But I'm old enough to remember Cam starting off 6-10 despite that valiant effort winning Rookie of the Year and having the most passing yards from a rookie at that point.
Yep.
I'm old enough. It was all, the progression was linear. This is the argument, right? Because people think that it should be instant. Oftentimes it is instant. Look, Jalen, what's my man's name from Washington? Jaden Daniels, not Jalen.
Oh, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels beat out Robert Griffin's, like, I think, rushing record. You know what I'm saying? Robert Griffin was 1 year, second year hurt, and then it flamed out, right?
Correct.
Cam Newton had a better career, argue me down if you want to, than Andrew Luck. But it was but it was linear progression. It was 6-10. He regressed in his second season. I'm old enough to remember him doing this on a Thursday night and people going crazy. Your home will always kill you. I'm old enough to remember people at the Charlotte Observer showing a picture of him doing this with Hello Kitty in the middle. You know what I'm saying? But now we got revisionist history like he was the greatest thing from start to finish. No, it was progression.
Yeah.
He started off the season 1-3 and then went 12-4. And then they fell off a cliff again. And similar to this situation, they were 7-8-1, and then the next season we got what we got. But guess what happens if we do what everybody, not everybody, but what some people suggest, Elliot, and we let this boy go? Hey, Dave Canales, all I know is this. For your coaching career, not for what you do in Carolina, but if that's your decision, boy, you better be right.
100%.
Because when Steve Smith, and I'm going to stop talking in a minute and let you get your stuff off. When Steve Smith went on his show just recently, right, and sat down with, I think it was Tom Pelissero, and he said, man, listen, it was Tom Pelissero was like, yo, it might not have been Tom, it was one of them NFL guys. He said it was so many teams that was lining up because they was like, if Carolina fumble this bag, bro, we will take them. And people was talking about 4th-round pick. You know what I'm saying? Where them people at? Where y'all at? Come outside. You ain't running this time.
Not this time.
Not this time. They was talking about 3rd and 4th-round picks. You know what I'm saying? Where them people at?
Yeah.
It was crazy, Elliot. Make sure that the praise is as loud as the criticism.
That's true.
I need to see, I ain't been on X yet, Elliot, but I need to see a video of him getting a game ball. Because he done sat and watched everybody else when he been one of the main proponents of these wins that we've had outside of that one Raiders game. I need to see him get a game ball. And it need to be shown publicly because y'all benched me, brought me back. I went and played scout team. I was praying with my parents and y'all was picking on me. We need that praise. Not this time.
Not this time.
We want it all. Go ahead, E.
You got it, bro. I don't got nothing to say. That is literally it. If I'm Bryce, I think you just made the case for him. I hope that he saw this and hired you as his lawyer.
Man, I'm going to get smoked. I know a few people that's going to smoke me on this, man. And I don't care. I do not care. I welcome it. I don't care. Make your reactions. Tweet me, DM me. Do whatever you want to do. But like I said.
Not this time.
That's facts, bro. And you cannot argue what we seen, man. What was the phrase? Trust the tape.
Trust the tape.
Look at the throws, man. That's what got me, man. When he got that confidence back, man, these throws are, I mean, out of this world, man. And he's doing this with who? He's doing this with who, man?
A third wide receiver on most teams, right? Adam Thielen said he wanted to go to Kansas City, Elliot. I remember that. You remember that?
I don't. I ain't gonna lie. I don't.
Adam Thielen said he want. And look, salute to Thielen because Thielen balling, bro.
He is, man. Mr.
But Adam
Reliable
Thielen
right
said he
now.
wanted to go to Kansas City, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Jalen Coker. Now I will say this. Look, they almost fumbled the bag there, man. Had to get the boy back after he cleared waivers, Elliot.
Yeah, I remember that.
Steve Smith said he was the best route runner in the draft.
I do remember. I remember that.
Look at it. Look at him now. You know what I'm saying?
He bad, boy.
Bad.
He bad.
Bad. Deontay Johnson, where he at? Houston? My man got frequent flyer miles at this point. I went from Carolina
Number
to
one
Baltimore.
Carolina receiver.
I went from Charlotte. Man, think about the cities. I went from Charlotte to Baltimore. From Baltimore to Houston.
Yep.
They don't make a condo big enough, Elliot.
Hey, he watching Bryce right now. Cook.
And I know that's hurting.
Oh, he
Please.
got to think of himself, man. I'd be a Pro Bowler right now, man.
And look, salute to him because he probably, I believe that because of a lack of what they have on offense over there, down there in Houston, as far as their receivers and people being hurt, he probably going to show up and look, he might make me shut up. Boy might come out and go crazy in the playoff game. But guess what?
Nah, not this time.
Not this time, bruh. You got to watch this. Hey, if you a detractor, you going to hold this.
Nah, not this time.
And you know what I love about it more than anything else, Elliot? You got to hold it for the whole off season.
Yep.
Ooh, boy, I love it.
Yep.
Go ahead, man.
Yep. Nah, this is it, man. This is exactly how you want the season to end, man. So everybody, I'm intrigued. I'm excited to hear what everybody got to say for the next 7 months, because it's gonna be a lot of
G baby, what up?
up. It's gonna be a lot of cleaning up, a lot of janitors who gonna have to clean up what they said early, man. Because this guy, to me, he's proven. I mean, even you know, I've had my doubts. I don't know how anybody couldn't have doubts based on what we saw.
Of course, that's fair. Yeah.
But what I've seen these past 4 or 5 games, Bryce, you got it, bro. You my quarterback. You the franchise.
I love it. Look, the goal is not for me as a Bryce propaganda. I sound like Stephen A. Smith tearing up some words. Propaganda specialist.
Conspicuous.
But the point is, man, it ain't that I'm trying to flip y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that 2 things gonna happen. Cause you're gonna find a way. People will be 5-12, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna find a way. But I'm only bringing to the table what could potentially be. Elliot, we're 5-12.
Yep.
What are we if we beat Kansas City? We're 6-11.
Yep.
What are we if we beat the Eagles? We're 7-10.
Correct.
What are we if we beat, who else was it that we were close with? Tampa. If Trouba doesn't fumble. We're 8-9. Are we not like in the hunt?
Absolutely. This game means a whole different meaning.
Would you agree that his play was a large reason that we even got to that point?
Absolutely. And I think something that have to be said about because he wasn't here today, so a lot of people might lose this, but something has to be said about Hubbard, man. The fact that he really embodies, in my opinion, what it means to keep pounding. Like That dude is a Carolina Panther.
all
Like, the
day,
dude
through
has
and
put
through.
in the work. We've
Yes.
watched it from day one, from
Yes.
him being, to me, I used to joan on him as a Tianka Batuka #2 because he had butterfingers, man. He couldn't catch nothing.
He
Couldn't
developed
catch
though.
nothing.
Yeah.
But he now, I can't say nothing about my boy, man. He has shown us the important. And the reason I say that, though, to get back to the point you're making, is that when you have a quarterback where people have to, when they see when they see what you can do now,
Mhm.
and you have to respect that QB's ability, it opens up the floor.
Yes.
It opens up the floor, and I think people miss that because if you remember the first 2 games and even last season, people said, "Hey, beat us, Bryce.
Yeah.
We just gonna blitz. We be there in 2 seconds. You're not even gonna have time, or you gonna find some way to throw us the ball."
Yeah.
Man, these last 5, 6, 7 games, no, man, I see a different approach from defenses. I see a different approach, and that opens the door for somebody like Hubbard to put up the 1,000 yards, bro. Look at that.
All day.
That. That's a different QB, man.
It is. Completely different person. I saw Lamar
And
do
he
that
got
last
that
night.
aura, bro.
Yeah.
Like
I saw
he quiet, he Christian, no, this is big talk, man, right now.
Hey, look, and you can become that. I'm glad you
Yeah.
you spoke on that. Let's talk about let's go from that perspective for a second. The same man that was a son of David, of Jesse, that was the shepherd boy in the field, slayed a giant.
Mm-hmm.
That same man went on to be king, being chased around by somebody jealous.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mild mannered, mild tempered.
Mm-hmm.
But what he tells Saul when he saw him in the cave, Elliot?
I could have.
I had you dead to right.
I could have.
I had you dead to right, boy. But because of my God, that's the only reason I ain't make it happen.
And here's the tape. Here's the proof.
Here's the proof. Piece of your garment, buddy. I had you dead to right.
Yo, that's crazy. Facts. Facts.
So he putting the South on notice. You see him?
He doing it, bro.
I remember he sat down with the pivot. He told them the same thing. They asked him, they were like, man, Channing, he always gonna pry. He gonna try to get he gonna try to get something out of you, right? And he like, hey man, say bro, why you always be on like some like, just kind of like, is there ever a moment where you feel like, yeah, I'm him? He like, man, that game against Texas. He's like, man, he kind of broke out of the pocket, threw the ball. He said before it even hit the receiver hands, I ran away. I saw it. Straight Steph Curry. Ran away. That's when Dan Orlovsky was on TV. Hey, dude, talking to Rich Eisen, what he say? Dude, listen, Chicago would be crazy to pass on him, dude. He's Steph Curry. He's Steph Curry, dude. You know what I'm saying?
He's showing it too. And hey, as fate would have it, he'd be on Steph Curry's team too.
Yeah. On Steph Curry's team.
How it works. I love it, bro.
I do too, man. I do too. Elliot, I've been cutting up for an hour and 20 minutes, man. I'm about to go get with my family. But man,
yes, sir. I'm gonna do the same, brother.
I need you in the offseason, man. I need you to come through. I always love when you come by, man. This is I love the support that you've shown over all these years, man.
Absolutely, brother.
And then, I'm gonna tell you, it was so crazy, man. Like I said this on one of my lives. I was like, and I got the video saved. Like I was just, doom scrolling or whatever they call it through Instagram, just cooling. And I came across this video and I saw this lady and it was like all these views and stuff like this. And I'm like, is that Elliot? I'm like, what? Man, y'all famous, bro. I'm like, man, wait, what?
Nah, man, nah. We just
man, y'all killing it, bro.
We just here, bro.
I said, man, hold up. I was tripping. I'm like, man, I know, man, come on, man. Because you've been down since I had like 20 subs, bro. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah, man, you doing it, bro.
Man, I can't tell you how like humbled I am for that, man. Because I'm like,
man.
yo, for you to be where you are, like I'm telling you, so many people look for status, man. They want, you know what I'm saying? Like anything I can do to make myself feel up here. You know what I'm saying? And for you to like show me love, like when you already, like y'all up there, you know what I'm saying? And I had no idea you could have been flexing. And I'm sure people looking at me like, man, what are you talking about? I'm like, yo, plug your stuff, man. Go for it.
Man, hey, don't listen. I'm a nobody, but check out your favorite MFT, your fave MFT. My wife is killing the game. She's a marriage therapist, and she's helping marriages, and I just stand by her side. So your fave MFT, we out here killing the game for marriages.
Yes.
Check her out. You can follow me at Elliot Brooks. I do leadership stuff, but yeah, man, we're here for you, bro. This is to me, I always love humanity. If I didn't study business and theology, I would have studied sociology. I love humanity.
Yeah.
So, man, big ups to you, bro.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate what I've seen. I've learned a lot from the work that you've done, and it's crazy. Like people probably don't even know this. I've never met John in my life, like in person.
No.
I don't know this. I don't know.
At some point, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah, developed a long line. That's right. Yeah.
So this is my guy. Just simply the power of social media, the power of being able to hit people up without being in person. But man, I want to say, man, keep doing what you're doing. There's been a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you've gone through, and the fact that you're doing what you're doing and doing it at the rate that you're doing now. Like, once again, it just is another lesson and message of there's nothing holding me down, bro. There's nothing holding me down. And I'm inspired by that. So keep doing what you're doing, bro. And you already know, man, there's always going to be detractors, like you say, haters. But, yo, this One Carolina family real. We got your back, John. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. And big ups. Happy New Year to each and every one of y'all, to y'all families. And I look forward to chopping it up with you through the off season.
Yes, sir, man. Elliot Brooks, y'all.
Keep pounding.
The man. Ah, man. Love that dude, man. Love that dude. That's a good brother. That's a good brother. Man, I appreciate the super chat. Look like we got, let's see, Cheshire Cat. Appreciate you, man, with the super chat. Says, imagine Chuba Hubbard and the Carolina Panthers drafts Cam Scatterbo. Is that how you say it? I'm not saying the boo part because I don't see two O's. Scatterbo. Let's just do that. 1-2 punch, not going to happen, but I can dream. I think you're still going to get that same thing from Brooks. I got faith that Brooks is going to come back healthy. I do. So, but that's interesting. I don't know where he's going to be drafted, but that's fascinating. But thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Man, Elliot, gosh, that blessed me like crazy, man. Like, you know, many of y'all may not know this, but like I've had my fair share of health challenges over the last, few years. And I've dealt with some personal tragedy in my family, also, things like what happened with, Helene, man. I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, born and raised. And, my family wasn't like, obviously some of the things they were affected by, like, water and, things like that. But there's just so many people that we knew that were affected by the storm. And, those people are still trying to fight to, kind of get things back in order, and usually anytime I have the opportunity, I usually like to plug Samaritan's Purse. So if you guys choose to do so, if you want to go to Samaritan's Purse and just donate, the reason that I choose them, and I'm going to pull them up here in just a second, is because I know that there's a lot of places that don't necessarily give like a official record of where their relief efforts go. You know what I'm saying? But Samaritan's Purse is one of those places that indeed does that. And so I'm big on my support for them. And so if you guys choose to do so, you can donate to Samaritan's Purse. You just go to Samaritan'sPurse.org/disaster/Helene. That's Samaritan'sPurse.org/disaster/Helene or Hurricane Helene. And, donate there. I don't ask for money on the channel. I don't ask for, super chats. I appreciate them. I'm very, very thankful for them. There was a time, when I used to take donations and things like that, man. But I just really love what I do so much, and I'm not trying to say I'm above it because, obviously at some point, one day I would like to turn this channel into something that's, more higher monetized, and, maybe I do this full time. But for the here and now, I just really like to see, people helping people. You know what I'm saying? So if you decide to do so, man, I would very much appreciate it if you would check out Samaritanspurse.com. .org, / Hurricane Helene. And, just give a small donation, man. Help some people out. There were a lot of people that were affected by Hurricane Helene all throughout Western North Carolina, the upstate, things like that. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for that. But, yeah, this content thing, man, it's a lot of fun, and I like to talk, my talk just as much as anybody else does, whatever. And I like to debate, as long as the debates don't go, sideways. If it starts becoming, personal attacks and stuff like that, I don't really get into that, but as far as just like, what you see, what I see, we can, debate and maybe find common ground. If we can't, we can't, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. I'm gonna stand on my side. You know what I'm saying? You can stand on your side and that's all good. But I do very much enjoy, doing this content, being able to share community with you guys. Elliot said it. I love where the One Carolina community is going. It's growing strong, and I think it's going to grow even stronger. I like a lot of my contemporaries. I collaborate with a lot of them. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., make sure y'all tune in because I'll be finally getting Pat Coltrane out the bed, get the mic back hot, and he will reveal to us whether or not he's going to come back full time, which I hope today was a catalyst to that happening. But Pat's one of the funniest people that I have ever met. He's one of the kindest people I've ever met. And he's a pioneer in this space. He's somebody that was here long before, many of the rest of us were. And so I was very excited when I reached out to him and he, gave me the okay, that he would come through and, saying like share, we share ideas together or whatever about the season and, where things are going. So that was a huge blessing. So make sure to tune in tomorrow for that at 6 p.m. with Pat Coltrane, One Carolina podcast. I'm extremely excited for that coming up. Let me go through and check out a couple of more comments before we head out of here. Bot Chad, what's up, man? Evero has to go or had to go. I don't know when that's going to happen. I think if that happens tomorrow, I'm probably not going to go live just because I'm debuting and Pat and I talk about it. So, there's probably not much I would cover that I haven't covered today or tomorrow whenever the podcast premiere happens. But, yeah, probably not much that you'll hear different. So I don't think that I'll go live unless something crazy happens like, hey, we fire him or there's talks about somebody else. I think I saw somebody in the chat say something about Gerard Mayo and the potential for maybe even him coming in, which I think would be pretty dope. But obviously I have my pick of who I would like to see. That would like to be Robert Saleh. But yeah, so salute. Hey, so I'll just end with this. It's been a lot said. This has been a long season. It started off rocky, and there was a lot that was going around that was right about the guy that we have behind center. And it's a team effort, no doubt, but I think we'd be lying to ourselves to say that this season wasn't primarily about seeing what was going to happen behind center to see how it develops moving forward. But as far as the takes and this long offseason that's getting ready to happen, when you get ready to say what you have to say to me, when you call me on my phone, because I know that there's people that don't necessarily agree with me that call me and all kind of stuff, just know this. This time,
Nah, not this time.
you following through. It's been the One Carolina Show, y'all. Keep pounding.